Well, good morning. It's a nice chilly morning here in Toowoomba. We're continuing with the commentary on the book of 2 Samuel. We've now reached chapter 17, and today the title is Secret Intelligence is Sent to David. Moreover, Ahithophel said to Absalom, "Let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid. And all the people that are with him shall flee, and I shall smite the king only. And I will bring back all of the people unto thee. The man who thou seekest is as if all return. So all of the people shall be in peace." Seemed like a good idea. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all of the elders of Israel. Then Absalom called and said, "Call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he has to say." When Hushai came to Absalom, Absalom spoke unto him, saying, "Ahithophel hath spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his saying? If not, speak thou." And Hushai said unto Absalom, "The counsel that Ahithophel has given is not good at this time. For," said Hushai, "you know your father and his men, that they are mighty men, and they be chafed in their minds, as a bear robbed of their whelps in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is hid now in some pit, or in some other place, and it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever hears it will say, There is slaughter among the people that follows Absalom. And he also that is valiant, who is as heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all of Israel knows that thy father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men. Therefore," conclusion, "therefore I counsel that all of Israel be generally gathered unto thee, from Dan even as far as Beersheba, as the sand that be of the seas for multitude, and that you go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falls on the ground. And if him and all his men that are with him, that there shall be not one so much left, we will slaughter them all. Moreover, if he be gotten in a city, then shall all of Israel bring ropes to that city, and we'll draw that city into the river, until there not be one small stone found there." And Absalom and all of the men of Israel said, "The counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For the Lord has appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom." Now, Ahithophel said, "Give me 10,000 men to start after David tonight. I will come upon him while he is weary and discouraged, and he and his troops shall be thrown into a panic, and everyone will run away. And I will kill only the king, and let all those that are with him live, and restore them back unto you." Now Absalom and all the elders of Israel approved that plan. But then Absalom said, "Ask Hushai the Archite what he thinks about this plan." When Hushai arrived, Absalom told him what Ahithophel had said. "What is your opinion?" Absalom asked him. "Should we follow Ahithophel's plan and advice? And if not, then speak up now." "Well," Hushai said, "this time I think that Ahithophel has made a mistake. You know your father and his men. They are mighty warriors, and are probably as upset as a mother bear that has just robbed its cubs, because they have had to leave Israel and they've had to leave Jerusalem. He is probably already hidden in some pit or cave, and when he comes out and attacks, and a few of your men fall, there will be panic among your troops, and everyone will start shouting that your men are being slaughtered. Then even the bravest of them, though they have hearts of lions, will be paralyzed with fear. For all of Israel knows that what a mighty man your father is and how courageous his soldiers are. What I suggest is that you mobilize the entire army of Israel, bringing them from as far away as Dan and Beersheba. That's from the north is Dan, and Beersheba is from the south, from the whole of the nation of Israel. That you have a large force, in fact a huge force. And I think that you should personally lead the troops. Then, when we find him, we can destroy his entire army, so that not one of them is left alive to bother you in the future. And if David has escaped into some city, you will have the entire army of Israel at your disposal and your command, and you can take ropes and drag the walls of the city into the nearest valley until every stone is torn down. Then Absalom and all of the men of Israel said, Hushai's advice is better than Ahithel's, for the Lord had arranged to defeat the counsel of Ahithophel, which in fact was really a better plan, so that he could bring disaster upon Absalom. So in this case, you have God fighting against you. And let's face it, right throughout history, when God is against you, there is no way you're going to win. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and Abiathar the priests, Thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counselled. Conclusion. Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, Lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up, and all of the people that are with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed by En-Rogel, for they might not be seen to come into the city. And a wench went and told them, and they went and told King David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them and told Absalom, but they went both of them away quickly. And they came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And a woman took and spread a covering over the well mouth, and spread ground corn upon them, and the same was not known. And when Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman said unto them, They be gone over the brook of water. And when they sought and could not find him, they returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass that after they had departed, that they came up out of the well, and went and told King David, and said unto David, Arise, and pass quickly over the water, for thus has Ahithophel counsel against you. Then David arose, and all of the people with him, and they passed over the Jordan. By the morning light there lacked not one of them that was not gone over the Jordan river. Then Hushai reported the events that had taken place in the palace, what Ahithophel had said to Absalom, and what he had proposed instead. Quick, he told them, find David and tell him not to camp at the ford of the river tonight. He must cross over at once into the wilderness beyond. Otherwise, he will die, and all of the army that are with him. Jonathan and Ahimaaz had been staying in En-Rogel, so that they would not be seen entering and leaving the city. Arrangements had been made for a slave girl to carry any messages to them that were to be taken to King David. But a boy saw them leave En-Rogel to go to David, and he told Absalom about it. Meanwhile, they escaped to Bahurim, where a man hid them in a well in his backyard. The man's wife put a cloth over the top of the well, with grain upon it, for it to dry in the sun, so no one suspected that they were there. When Absalom's men arrived and asked her if he'd seen Ahimaaz and Jonathan, she said that they had crossed over the brook and gone. They looked for them without success and then returned to Jerusalem. Now people may say that she committed a sin by lying about these two people, but it was allowed to lie to save life. Then the two men crawled out of the well and hurried on to find King David. "Quick," they told him, "you have to cross the Jordan tonight." And they told him how Ahithophel had advised that he be captured and killed. So David and all of the people that were with him went across the Jordan during the night, and they were all on the other bank of the river before dawn. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose to get home to his house, to his city, and put his house in order, and hanged himself and died, and was buried in the sepulchre of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over the Jordan, he and all of his men of Israel with him. Meanwhile, Ahithophel, being publicly disgraced, when Absalom and the elders of Israel had refused his advice, saddled his donkey, went to his hometown, set his affairs in order, and hanged himself, so that he died and was buried beside his father. Here again is a prophetic picture of what happens when you betray your master. You are let to go and hang yourself when you realize the magnitude of the sin that you have committed. This is what happened when Judas betrayed Jesus. David soon arrived at Mahanaim. Meanwhile, Absalom had mobilized the entire army of Israel and was leading the men across the Jordan River. Absalom had appointed Amasa as general of the army, replacing Joab. Now Amasa was Joab's second cousin. His father was Ithra, the Ishmaelite, and his mother was Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, who was the sister of Joab's mother, Zeruiah. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. Absalom appointed Amasa as general of the army, replacing Joab, who had remained loyal to King David. Amasa was Joab's second cousin. His father was Ithra, an Ishmaelite, and his mother was Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, who was the sister of Joab's mother, Zeruiah. And it came to pass when David came to Mahanaim that Shobi, the son of Nahash of Rabbah, and the children of Ammon, and Makkah, the son of Amiel of Lodebar, and Barzillai, the Gilead of Rogelim, they brought beds and basins and earth vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn and beans and lentil and parched pulse and honey and butter and sheep and cheese of kine for David and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, "The people is hungry and weary and thirsty in the wilderness." When David arrived at Mahanaim, he was warmly greeted by Shobi, the son of Nahash of Rabbah, and Makkah, the son of Amiel of Lodebar, and Barzillai, the Gilead of Rogelim. They brought him and those that were with him mats to sleep on, cooking pots, serving bowls, wheat and flour, parched grain, beans, lentils, honey, butter and cheese. For they said, "You must be very tired and hungry after your long march through the wilderness." And so we are now ready in chapter 18 for the big battle.